Ranging from dark brown to light brown.
Comparing it.
Right?
You're
No,
only saying
but
that
that's a
comparing it to something
scientific.
else.
Yeah, but that's a scientific method.
No, it's not. It's your opinion.
What do you mean, my opinion?
It's your opinion.
Let me find out where
You're
white
bringing
people come
science
from first.
into something that you
The
have
origin
no
of
idea
language.
what you're talking about. You can only say I'm white because you're comparing me to everyone else, and everyone
Let me jump to that one
said.
first, then, because you're saying, okay, let's look at that one first.
He's going back to
No, let's look.
Because it's not one of 10 million things.
Let's look together. Let's look together, yes?
No, I believe you. I don't
No, let's
care.
look together.
It's
What?
irrelevant to what you're saying.
No, let's look together. Okay, watch. So we're going by a professor called John Kamanoff, Professor of African Studies, describing what a black person is. Yes?
We don't know how.
Right.
Wait, weren't you meant to be bringing out
first let's deal with the colour thing. A person...
So you couldn't find that?
Oh, I will find it.
You couldn't find
Let's just jump in first. A person possessing a permanent state of light to dark melanin. Right? Non-white skin colour, usually curly brown hair. Right, now that ranges from a consistent brown melanin. So, to say someone's black ranges from light brown to dark brown. Because nobody's really black, are they? Not the same colour before. And nobody's white, is not the same colour t-shirt. Right, so you range from the spectrum of red.
But he can only say that, comparing it to the whole spectrum of colours in the universe. Okay, so black
Just
is
now
only
you stood
black.
there and said
Black
to me
in
that there's no
itself,
evidence of
okay.
it. You just
Black
said
in
there's no
itself
evidence, right?
cannot exist without comparing it to something else, right? Okay, so black is black. You wouldn't know black. Okay, you wouldn't know that you're looking at black, right? Without comparing it to white, to green, to blue, to yellow. Yes, it's fact.
He's right.
It's fact.
No, that's not rubbish.
It's fact.
Because
Why is there a lot of rubbish?
How?
I'm gonna tell you
Okay,
why
how is
rubbish.
it like exactly? Good question.
When you look up into the night sky, what is the most dominant factor in the night sky?
You tell me.
Total blackness, called dark matter, dark energy.
Yeah.
Now, there are no comparison,
matter.
dark matter, right, or dark energy. The biggest one is
Energy doesn't have a colour, but anyway.
dark.
carry on.
They call it dark.
Okay, yeah, carry on.
They call it dark energy. Makes up 70% of the universe.
Yeah, no, it's dark matter.
No, it's called dark energy.
Oh,
You want to bring
dark
that?
matter.
You want to
Okay.
bring that up for you again?
Yes, please
Because
do.
it's what the-
No.
It's
We'll
called-
keep
it's
stopping.
called-
You have
it's
to.
called- Hold on, stop. It's called dark energy, right? So you look up in the night sky.
Okay.
All you see is an interior of darkness, blackness. There are no shades of white to compare it to. You can all observe blackness.
Dark energy.
You don't
I think,
need.
I think you're watching
When-
too many
now, hold on.
superhero movies, mate.
And I think that you've been logged onto the Darwinian theory too long. That's why it comes to
Darwinian
nonsense. When you sit in a dark room with the lights off, do you need to see spectrum of white to know you're in a dark room? You don't. You know you're in a room of darkness. You don't need the light to come through.
Because you've experienced light prior to it. But if I was born to a dark room and never saw another colour, then I wouldn't know that it's
My
dark.
friends, but listen, darkness is still darkness, whether or not
Dark
you.
matter.
I said to you, dark energy makes up 70% of the universe.
Dark matter.
Makes
okay?
up what? Makes up what?
Dark matter
Makes up
comprising
what?
of approximately
Makes up what? Of the universe.
27%
Of the universe.
of the mass and energy
Exactly.
of the universe.
So-
not
so-
70,
hold on a second.
and it's not
So-
energy.
so-
just saying, okay?
So what is the
Now
other
let's come back to
70%?
what
Now,
you were
hold on a
saying
second.
earlier.
Dark matter, you just said, makes up 27% of the universe. What is the other 70%? Dark energy. That's what I just said to you before. Right? So the only so what is the only reason why we know darkness or blackness because that's a state. We don't need to compare it to anything else. Just like to know good, we don't need to have evil. Yeah, you don't need to know that.
Let's look at the day and the night. Okay? Night in itself cannot exist without day, because you've got nothing to compare it to. It's just it.
But hold on a second,
Okay?
I'm afraid.
White only becomes white when there's black, because you have some point of reference to look at.
Listen, you are
Two
not
opposites, exactly.
no.
It's like the yin and the yang.
No. Now you know, right? Because you're claiming to be some knowledgeable scientist in some way. Now we know that light, such as darkness and white light, are all forms of what? Are all forms of frequencies, yes? So like there isn't any opposite states. There are the same state in different states of being. That's all they are. Light is just frequencies vibrating at different speeds. So there isn't that light and then there's that light. They're the same light. Yeah, they're the same thing. So your point was wrong and your point was wrong.
But what you're saying, now you're completely changing the subject.
How am I changing the subject? Is it? No, hold on a second.
Right,
Yeah, but
it's
is
like
that
the
true or
secret
not?
of the movie, it's like
Yeah, but is that
pseudoscience
true or
coming
not? Is it true or not?
What we were saying, okay, referring back to the initial context.
I just want to know if it's true or not.
Which was light brown. We can only measure the colour of our skin based on
No, you cannot.
comparing it to
That's a lie.
something
No,
else.
you can't.
Yes.
No, that's a
if
lie.
everyone in the world was black, okay, there would be no white people. There would be no yellow people. There would be no other colour of people. There would only be white. There would only be black people. Okay. It's only when you have something to compare it to, a white person,
But hold on a second.
that makes the difference.
So you're saying to me, now let's just get into your logic. The only reason why I know that I'm brown, and the only reason why you know you're brown, because you've seen a pink man. So you don't know you're brown only because you see the pink man. It's absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? I know I'm brown. I know I'm brown because I'm observing that I'm brown. I don't need.
Comparing it to who?
No, I'm not comparing to anything. I don't need to compare it to anything.
So
If you can only see one colour, okay, you need to understand.
Back up.
You need to understand it.
Back up.
Okay, you can only see. Okay, you're basing me as a white person.
No, I'm basically as a red person.
No, you're basing me as a white person. Because everyone here and everyone in the you know is colour of people. Okay, the colour spectrum. Okay, you're comparing it to that. That's simple. It's
My
fact.
friend, let me tell you what I am doing and not what you think I'm doing. I'm looking at you as a white, so-called white man because that's what you are. I don't need to compare you to anybody else.
Yeah, but I'm not a
That-
white man unless there's a brown man. There's a
What are
black
you
man, there's a
talking
yellow
about?
man. If you could,
Listen, I am a brown man, whether I'm standing in a beach by myself or in a crowded room. I know I'm brown. I don't need to compare it to anybody else. So you live in a world whereby my jacket is only black because I see a jacket which is maroon
Okay,
and
it's like-
grey
okay, go
and
up
other
to
colours.
space, go up-
Are you being for real?
okay, go up to space, right? Go up to space.
No, we can't go up to space.
Okay,
We've never been to
actually,
space.
We have been to space.
No, you haven't. You believe in that as
We've
well?
been to space.
You believe in that as
Oh,
well?
so you
Which
don't
part of
believe
the moon?
that the human species
hold on a
hasn't been
second.
up to space?
How have we been to
Is
the
this
moon?
come back to,
No, hold on,
does this
slow
come
down,
back to
slow
your
down.
70%
Slow down,
dark
slow down.
energy? Is that an argument all over again? Okay,
How
what
have
I'm
we
saying
been to the
is,
moon?
okay,
According to you.
have we been to the moon?
Yeah, according
Well,
to you.
of course we have.
Oh wow.
Oh, really?
Does anybody else believe this? We've been
We're
to the
going
moon.
off track anyway.
I'm just saying.
Go back to
Okay,
the
so
I'm
you're
just
saying,
checking this guy's
okay,
psychology.
okay.
Does anybody else believe that man went to the moon in the 1960s?
Now you're talking about conspiracies.
I'm just saying.
Let's move back to the colour spectrum.
Now I understand who I'm dealing with. Believe we went to the moon.
you don't
You believe in all that
Do you
Hollywood
believe that we
movie?
haven't gone through
That
the asteroid belt?
we have not gone through the ISP. We haven't through the and we haven't passed through, as NASA admits, through the Van Allen belt. We can't get through.
Which is the asteroid.
Right? We cannot get through the Van Allen belt. Of course I believe this. This is from words of NASA
I rest my
itself.
case. I rest my case.
Right? And then where did the moon then? Where did the moon reside? Outside of the Van Allen belt. And you still believe it's there? A liar. Right. So far, we have a guy that only believes he's got genes because he can see someone with a tracksuit on.
And we have a guy
So
who
he
doesn't
can't
believe
believe.
we've been
So
to
he
the
can't
moon.
believe
And
he has
there is
genes
no
on
such thing as
because
dark
he's got
energy,
genes
dark
on.
matter.
Right?
It's dark energy.
Unbelievable.
Okay, dark energy.
You need to compare yourself
We need a
to
scientist.
something
We need a
else.
scientist because he's
You're
just invented
unbelievable.
dark
My friend,
energy.
the only reason you have on jeans is because you have tracksuit on.
My friend.
So coming back to the point.
You may not have a degree,
So
but I
coming
hope
back
you
to the
do one
point.
day get an education.
Hold on a second. So coming back to the point,
Just get an
Muhammad is described
You don't need a degree, just
as
get
a
an
white man,
We
right?
discussed it already.
As a white man in Hadith. That's what it says in Hadith. Muhammad is described as a white
It's
man.
like,
Full
look,
stop.
it's like going into the animal kingdom, right? And telling a gorilla, okay, about the brown monkeys.
Monkeys aren't brown.
Yeah,
actually
orangutans
your
are brown.
colour,
In fact,
believe it or not.
orangutans are brown.
No,
okay?
actually not.
Orangutans are brown.
but when
it's
you
like
talk about
going to.
monkeys,
It doesn't make
which one we talking
sense.
about?
It doesn't make sense.
orangutans are red.
Because they have nothing. They have nothing to compare it to. Do you understand? It comes down to our species. You only know I'm white because someone else in my species is black. Okay?
reason
Because
why
if not,
I
there
know
would be
you're
no
white
white people
or
or
red,
black people.
because that's
because
what
you're
you are.
comparing
Hold on a
a
second.
white person
No,
to a
hold on
black
second.
person.
The
It's like
reason-
comparing day
the reason
to
why,
night.
The reason why I say you are so-called white, because that's what
Because
you are.
you have something to compare it to.
Because that's your state.
Oh my
I don't need
God.
nothing to compare it to.
My
You see,
friend,
now
but
you are
only 'cause
thinking.
it's not in your iPad.
Now what? Now
Right,
wait,
only 'cause it's
wait,
not in your
wait,
iPad.
wait,
It's not
wait,
prepared.
wait,
Right, don't come start
Now
bringing
you
it
have
up.
separation psychology. That's what you have. You always have to compare something to another. Okay, bye-bye with white Muhammad. Bye-bye with your white Muhammad. That's how this thing started in the first place.